Say Brian.
Yes, sir.
Rich
Hi,
Hussey
Joe.
is somewhere. Hey, Brian. Rich Hussey is somewhere in the waiting room or something. So.
Okay, great. We'll work on that while I get through the opening reading.
Okay. Just play.
Perfect. Alice, if you can tackle that. As a preliminary matter, this is Brian Sullivan, Chair of the Affordable Housing Trust. Permit me to confirm all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Let's go to the list. Forrest Bell.
Here.
Thank you. Chantal Murphy.
Here.
Penny Dye.
Here.
Meg Browers.
Here.
Abby De Molina.
Here.
And I'm here. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Rachel Field.
Here.
Thank you. Lee Smith.
Here.
Thank you, sir. We heard from Ellis. Anticipated speakers on the agenda. Joe, I just heard you. And Kuspa.
Present.
Colin. Forgive me, Colin. Is it Froelich? Did I say that right?
Yep, Froelich here.
Great. Thank you, sir. Moving on down. There, Richard Hussey just got in. Good afternoon. This is an open meeting, the Affordable Housing Trust being conducted remotely pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For this meeting, the Affordable Housing Trust is convening via video conference via the Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note the meeting is being recorded and all attendees are participating via video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. Public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless we note otherwise. We'll turn to the first item on the agenda, but before we do so, permit me to cover ground rules for effective clear conduct of our business to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I'll introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, we'll go down a line of members, inviting comment, question, or motion. Please hold until your name is called. Remember to mute your phone or your computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly in a way that helps generate accurate meeting minutes. Any response, please wait until the floor is yielded to you. And if you wish to engage in conversation with other members, please do so through the chair. For items with public comment, after members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to the members of the public who have joined the meeting via Zoom. The public who wish to speak must state their names, be acknowledged, and speak through the chair. Finally, each vote will be taken by a roll call. Okay, great. Tracy is here. Tracy, can we test your mic?
Yep. Can you hear me?
We can. Great. Thank you. And Richard, can we test your mic? Okay, perfect. We see you, don't hear you, but we're good. Okay, I'm gonna jump back to calling the December 17th meeting of the Affordable Housing Trust to order. Does anyone have any edits, changes, comments on the agenda? Penny?
Yeah, I'd like to hold the minutes. I haven't had a chance to, I haven't had time to read all those minutes.
Okay. So I think we have minutes on both the open meeting and the executive session meeting. Are you suggesting hold both?
Well, I think, do we have to deal with it agenda by agenda? Or yes, I would like to hold both.
Okay, they're on the same agenda, so.
Okay.
Okay. So Penny's made a motion to hold the minutes on the agenda. Are there any other changes? Is there a second?
If everybody else has read them, that's fine. I just won't vote.
Okay. I'm gonna second the motion. A vote by roll to hold the minutes over to the next meeting. Forrest Bell.
Aye.
Penny Dye.
Aye.
Meg Browers.
Aye.
Chantal Murphy.
Four.
And Brian Sullivan's and I. So we'll hold those. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as amended,
Brian,
holding
I
the
didn't
minutes?
get to vote.
Yeah.
Oh, Abby, I'm sorry.
I'm an aye for the record.
Thank you. I gotta widen my screen. I can't see everybody. Ellis, did you get that? Abby was an aye. So now look for a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Second.
And a second from Meg by roll call. Forrest Bell.
Aye.
Penny Dye.
Aye.
Tom Murphy.
Yeah.
Meg Bowers,
Aye.
Abby De Molina,
Aye.
and Brian Sullivan's an aye. Okay. Public comment. I'd like to open the meeting for public comment. We have a number of people here. Okay. I don't see any action, so I'm going to, oh wait, Mary, I just saw your hand up.
Okay, yeah, I just did raise my hand. Can you hear me okay?
Can hear you fine.
Okay. I just had a question about, it has to do with the SHI list, the subsidized housing inventory list, and safe harbor. I was just wondering if it's possible if someone can give an example of units that count towards the SHI list but don't count toward safe harbor. In other words, like, what do these example units lack that disqualifies them for safe harbor? I don't know if that makes sense. I'm confused
So-
about that.
Yep, so I think I understand your question. And we will come back to it in writing with the next meeting. And
Okay,
distribute it as the policy goes. So you're looking to understand the difference between safe harbor and a SHI qualified unit.
well, more that, that I guess my understanding is that some units can count towards the SHI list, but not safe harbor. And I'm just wondering, what is it that the units lack that disqualifies them for safe harbor, but yet they qualify for the SHI list? Like, is it a deed restriction that the units need? Or like, you know, I mean, you don't have to get into it now. I
Yeah.
don't understand it. I just.
No,
wanted to-
we'll
wanted to
work
get
to
it.
deliver that back to you in writing for the next meeting.
All right.
The short answer is timing. Penny,
Fine.
The shorter answer is income levels, 80% AMI.
Penny, let's save it for a
Okay.
written summary.
Okay,
Oh, one other thing,
Okay.
if I might add, there's a
Oh,
really,
hang on 1 second. Is this on Mary's? Or is this your own? Okay,
no, this,
Mary, are you
Yeah.
all set?
yeah, I'm all set.
Okay, Penny, go ahead.
I just want to point out, generally, there's an extremely good quarterly report by Christie to the select board that's on YouTube that covers a bunch of this stuff.
Yeah,
last-
I actually did read that. But I
Okay.
still have that question. Anyway, okay. All set, thanks.
Are there any other public comments or questions that we can come back to? Or that we can take now? Okay, seeing none. I will move to item 5, status reports for affordable housing. So I have some notes from Christie, but I don't know. Rachel, are you taking these, or Tracy, are you taking these, or would you like me to work through Christie's notes?
I think probably, Brian, some combination of it.
Okay,
I have some questions and updates. I think Leap can probably provide some update.
okay.
Okay. So
Perfect.
if you
So-
want to go ahead and read Christie's notes, and then I can fill in the blanks.
Okay, so I will start and kind of work our way through, let's see. And for housing update on recycling grant for 66 Pocheck. So in the packet, there are the updates from Housing Nantucket and Habitat for the 3 projects that are ongoing. We have the house move at 66 Pocheck, the Lease to Locals program, and the construction of homes on Wake Drive. Does anybody of the board members have questions on what they read in their packet, or for any of the members, because we have Habitat here as well as Housing Nantucket? Okay. Penny, question?
Yeah, through you to the Habitat folks. I'm just wondering how you're tracking in terms of your estimated cost for construction on those 4 units.
I can take that.
Thanks, Richard.
We are struggling mightily to stay on target. Right now, we're on target. We still have a lot to go, but we're keeping a constant eye on our expenses. And for now, we're on target.
Thank you.
Richard, do you mind me asking, kind of for the public on a high level, what stage you're at?
Absolutely.
Really high level. Yeah.
Absolutely. Are you talking financially or
Or
physically?
not financially, with the physical work.
Okay. I have some pictures if we could share the screen.
I don't know.
Sent them to Ellis? No, maybe.
Yes, I have them. But if we could take this in order on how it's on the agenda, just so it's better for the minutes. I have updates from Housing Nantucket, from the Lease to Locals, the 66 boat check, and then Wake Drive. So if we could go
Okay.
like that, Brian, through you.
Yeah, I was just gonna take the updates that had questions, and this is the only one. Otherwise, the information's in the packet.
Okay.
So since Penny, this was the only question Penny had, I wasn't necessarily gonna take the other two. Are you able to pull those photos, Ellis, or? Great, thank you. Now, Richard, you're on mute, but if you want to describe what we're seeing.
Here we go. Better?
Thank you. Perfect,
Okay.
thank you.
These are interior photos of the flooring installation that started yesterday. So if we could go to the next slide, you'll see it's a very quick process. This is a beautiful flooring system we have. Pre-finished oak, goes down very quickly. We have a very skilled crew from Mac Davis, one of our excellent subs, and one who really gives back to Habitat. Next slide. You'll see this is the time that is so much fun for the homeowner, because with the walls being plastered and primed and the flooring in, it begins to look like a house, and you can see the light at the tunnel. All of us can see the light at the tunnel. So this is a fun time for our homeowners. Next slide. These should be exteriors. Okay, yep. If you can call the exteriors up, that'd be awesome. Okay, well, why don't we, can you?
Yeah, we can get, we've got a rough idea of those.
Okay, so
You're shingled, yeah, you're shingled, you're in place, you're.
Oh yeah, what you're looking at is complete exteriors for the 4 single-family homes. On the right-hand side, this is the right-hand side. This is 5A in the front, 5B in the back. 5A is a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath, single-family home, and we use the basement for a bedroom and a bathroom. The home that's approximately 2,200 square feet of living space. The rear home is 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. The bedrooms are upstairs, and the basement pre-plumbed for possible conversion by the homeowner at some future date. These are the identical single-family homes on the other side of the lot. This is 9A in the front, 9B in the back, identical in every way. And the space between the 4 single-family homes, 2 on either side, is where our duplex is going to go. And we hope to break ground on the duplex. I'm hoping by late February. So in terms of move-in, this is a view from the street. That's a Habitat house on the right. You can see we've used every inch of space on the lot for housing. We're gonna have to figure out parking, but that'll get done. So in terms of finishing, as I said, we're now at the point where flooring is in. It'll be in by the end of tomorrow, both homes. So for the two homes on the right, 5A and 5B, we'll be able to start interior trim, hang doors, and that'll take a little while because we're going to try to get volunteers involved in that. Once that's complete, or even as it's ongoing, we'll install the cabinets and the bathroom fixtures. And really, once all that takes place, it comes down to interior painting. And one of your members, your board members, Penny Dye, is one of our great volunteer leaders. She annually brings a crew of realtors who come and spend a couple days painting, which is an awesome thing for our families. They donate their hours to the families, as you know, or may not know. Each family has to contribute 350 hours of sweat equity towards the building of their home. And they get it actually they can get it by volunteering on their neighbor's home. And that's what we have going on with these 4 families that have been selected. They're working on each other's home. And it's really the first time we've seen that kind of volunteerism. And it's fun to watch.
That's very cool. What a great way to build community.
It is. They're going to be living next to each other, so it's a good start. Any questions?
Awesome.
No, I just, if I could, Brian.
Go ahead, Penny.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, it's actually really fun to paint these projects. Really fun.
And we're glad to have you.
Yeah, I'm surprised you want us back. I don't know how good we were, but we'll be back.
Homeowners love it.
Any more questions? Alice, if you can stop screen sharing, I can't see the entire group of people in the meeting. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, seeing no more questions on item 5 on the status reports, I'm going to move on to I think item 6, review of Affordable Housing Trust meeting schedule originally discussed on the 19th. So it seems that there's some edits to be made to the schedule and some conflicts. I know that I had some personally. I'm not sure who else, but let me see the notes here on the 19th. Just approved a meeting schedule with meetings on the 1st and 3rd Tuesday of the month. It came to our attention that there are conflicts in January, February, and March. Would like to open to the trust to see if they want to do one meeting a month on the 2nd Tuesday or keep the meeting schedule, and the vice chair, Penny, would need to step in for at least 3 meetings. We can also try and circulate other dates as a potential. Penny?
Yeah, I think it's going to be important as we get closer to town meeting to be meeting twice a month. I don't have a sense of what we've got coming up in January and February. Would it be possible to meet once a month? Does somebody know kind of what's on the docket?
I think my general impression, based on when we end a meeting and I don't think there's much, and then I get an agenda like today's, I recognize that they're going to be quite full. I also know marathon meetings are a challenge for like Forrest, who's got a window of time between classes. We should probably maintain every 2 and then either cancel the meeting or beforehand.
I actually agree with that because this will be our first time without Christy also.
Right.
Okay. Never mind.
All right, so it seems like we will keep the schedule as it is, and then Penny, I'll stay in touch as I'm not going to be there, so you know which meetings you'll chair. The housing office will get calendar updates sent to trust members. We'll have them posted on the website for the community so that they can note the meeting dates. If I see nothing more on that, I will jump to item 7, an update on the housing production certificate and safe harbor extension. I actually, Tracy, I need to look, I think, to you on this and or Rachel to walk me through all the work that has been done in the background in the last couple of weeks. Is this something you feel good about jumping in on?
Give it a try.
Okay.
So, Christy sort of gave an overview at select board last Wednesday, of what we have going on. And I don't have the table. Maybe Ellis, you could bring up the, one of the tables.
Let me try and get to it, then I'll get
Yes, I can
specific
do
on
that.
which
I
page.
So she's,
Sorry, Brian, through you to Tracy. I can pull up the select board update if you want, Tracy.
so I'm looking for, in the packet, she said there's a table with the units created since 2019.
Yes, I have.
It's on
And she
page
did,
17.
so Penny, you should be familiar, I think you were at the select board, so it's basically the similar presentation that, Christy went through
Yep.
with, 178 units, that we've added to date, and there's 134 in the pipeline. Of the 178, 30 are under construction. But all the rest are occupied,
That's right.
and have what Christie's referring to as heads in beds. The 134 units that are in progress are slated for construction in 2025 and 2026. And the trust is negotiating a few projects that may potentially add additional 35 units. So this is the sort of the chart that she went through, at the select board, and kind of gives an overview. This chart is the chart to make it to the 10% on the shy list. So it's a forecast out of that. So then Christy goes through and says one thing she wants to point out.
Tracy, if I may stop you for just a half a second and
Sure.
kind of make a global statement here, right? So safe harbor for shy, and this is somewhat leading back to Mary's commentary, and this is the right time to bring it up, is 10% of the housing of the year-round housing stock. It would have us in safe harbor forever, but we are able to make progress, and based on at the time a building permit is pulled, and maintain safe harbor until we reach the 10% number. And so while a unit may be added to the temporary safe harbor list and be included later in the final 10% safe harbor number, there also may be homes that are built in a given year that were not included on the temporary list, but would go on to the shy list. Hopefully that's slightly more clear than when we were in.
Right. And we target out each year, the number of units that we have to add. And so we do anticipate that we will be, on shy for 2 years, coming up in 2025. And then she also points out that she's been trying to create a balance between the AMI restricted units and sort of the missing middle of need for the higher income levels. So, she's trying to balance the safe harbor and adding those units, and then trying to add a few little higher ones in between.
I'm going to have you pause. Penny's got her hand up. I'm going to come back to.
Is that okay, Tracy, if I go now?
Yeah, go ahead, Penny.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, just so people understand, this number, the 10% of the year-round housing, is based on HUD data, and HUD data comes from the census, the decennial census, okay? And that was last done in 2000, okay? Prior to that, we were shooting for around, I think it was only 300 and something. 2000 was the first year of the pandemic, when so many people were choosing to try and live here year round that had not prior, and it moved the goalpost for us significantly to 618 units. That number will not change until 2030, till the next census. And we are, the important thing to remember here is we are on track to not only maintain, but to achieve not to achieve the 10% prior to 2030. The other thing that's important, and this goes to Mary's question, to remember is that in a development that's rentals only, not ownership, if 25% of those units are designated for people earning 80% or less of area median income, all the units count towards safe harbor. Which is
Correct.
how we've been able to leverage and create all the units we have. Thank you.
Exactly. And so what Christy noted in her presentation was that the goal has always, we add 31 units a year to stay in safe harbor. But this year we added 62 to our shy list. And next year we have the opportunity to add 112 units depending on the outcome of some of the developments going on.
And excuse me, did the through Brian to you, Tracy, did the 62 get us 2 years or just 1 year?
The 62 gets us to what I believe is the end of February or somewhere around February. And then we have plans we have a couple different plans on track to fill that gap.
Okay, thank you.
And then when Tacoma Green comes online, we get the 2 years for sure.
And it's when the building permits are issued that they can start to count in some cases.
Project. And so it's very important to understand that the timing of when the building permits are pulled is whether or not the units can be included on the list within the year that you're trying to capture short-term safe harbor versus long-term safe harbor.
Right.
So Christy goes on to note Tacoma Green will be the big project that will contribute to being on the shy list for 2020, the full 2025, 2026, with the addition of 64 units. And if all the projects that Christy has on tap come to fruition, we, like Penny stated out, we could be on target to reach our goal ahead, which is what she's forecasted out here in the 2027 part of it, where I believe she's saying we'd be at 10% there. She said, okay, so then she also said at Select Board on Wednesday night that there's a letter in your packet to EOHLC requesting certification of our housing production plan. She again states we were able to add 62 units to the shy list, and but the HLC only approved 52 eligible for safe harbor. This is why we've got till February, but the good news is that we have other projects lined up that will continue to keep us in safe harbor in the future, with the addition of 52 units rather than the goal of 62. We were eligible for an extension till February 2025. At this time, we have 2 projects moving forward with approval in February that would keep the town protected. And then that's it. I think that's all we've got in this category.
Great. Thank you, Tracy. Does anybody have any general questions? Penny, I see your hand up.
Yeah, just very, very, very quickly, I want to point out that this whole conversation has been about safe harbor, but not globally about housing. The fight for housing will continue long after we're in safe harbor.
Thank you, Penny. Any other members, question, comment? Okay, seeing none, I'll close that item and I'll move to 7. Let's see, do we have housing Nantucket? Ann, are you still there? I see your screen is off. Okay, great, thank you. So we have a request for funding for the project manager, Steve Hollister, through Housing Nantucket. On January 18, 2022, the trust previously approved funding for the project manager, which was a requirement for housing Nantucket's development at Wiggles Way at the time. The trust voted for the amount not to exceed $50,000. This was some time ago, and a lot of work has continued on since then. Housing Nantucket is here today to request increasing the amount to a total of $99,000. Not that all of the funds will be used, but they are basically seeking an additional $49,000. So raising the 50 to 99. A few months left, unlikely to need it all, but this will give some flexibility on cash flow. Staff has made a recommendation to approve and amend the contract with the budget up by 49,000. With a big thank you to Steve Hollister for all the work that he's done keeping this project in line and on track. And with that, I'd like to come to Ann to kind of summarize the ask, and then Penny, I'll come to your question. Go ahead, Ann.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. First off, just want to thank all of you for your support of our recent ask in front of the select board, and then also for this project just as a whole. So it's been really amazing being partners through this whole it's very complicated, and I know how many hours you all put in, and I can't tell you enough how much we appreciate your support and our constituents appreciate your support. So thank you very, 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 very much. Along those lines, we are looking to finish very soon, first quarter of next year. And Steve Hollister has been instrumental in helping us to keep everything on track. He's amazing, anyone who's ever met him. So we're going to continue with his services. Back in January of 2022, when we started the project, this board approved 50,000 and said that we could come back for more if needed. And so that's why we came in with a $49,000 ask. It's an up to amount. We don't anticipate needing that much, but as you all know, there's an audit that's happening as well, so we can categorize each expense appropriately. And Steve's been really helpful, and really he's the lead there in figuring out where we are and getting everything packaged up so that the town's auditor can look through it very easily too. So that's what I'm here to ask you, and I hope that you'll continue to support this owner's project manager position because we really need it. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Ann. And having recently had a tour of the site, I would ask you to offer time to any members of this board who haven't been in there in the last 45 days to give them a tour to kind of see updated existing conditions. Because it was a treat for me to see it about 10 days ago. So
yes, wonderful.
Hopefully other members can reach out to you to be able to do that on your schedule.
As a matter of fact, we are going to be touring on the next tour is Friday morning at 8 a.m. So anyone who'd like to join for that is welcome to do that.
I think not unfortunately, but I think we'll need to schedule individually, just in a
open meeting
sense, unless we choose to schedule a meeting altogether. I'm going to come to Penny with her question.
Yeah, just really quickly, I'm a member of the construction committee, and we've been meeting for 3 years. It feels longer, but I do want to say that Steve has been absolutely crucial to keeping this project moving forward. And I would make a motion, unless other people have comments, to support this, to grant this recent request.
Okay, so there's a motion to grant the request from Penny. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Forrest. For any discussion? Seeing no discussion, vote by roll call. Forrest Bell.
Aye.
Penny Dye.
Aye.
Tom Dixon.
No.
Meg Browers.
Aye.
Abby D. Molina.
Aye.
John Tom Murphy.
No.
And Brian Sullivan's an aye. Okay, thank you. We'll move to item 9.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. review request from Richmond Development to extend Sandpiper 1 loan agreement. So to try and help everybody's memory, in the beginning of 2024, there was an approval for a short-term loan to Richmond Development to accelerate the construction of 7 homes that were ownership units. These units are part of the SHI list maintenance and safe harbor application. Richmond is seeking a 3-month extension to the provision that the request that the homes be sold by December 31st, 2024. 5 of the 7 homes have been sold, and the remaining 2 units are prepared for inspection. So there's a note here that it's unlikely that it'll take the entire 3 months. But this was a repayment clause in the short-term loan that it would be completed by the end of the year. So there's some aspects of the delayed the work. Staff is recommending, this is from the Christie's note, staff is recommending approving this request and thanking Richmond for getting this number of units completed and these units on the SHI list, providing home ownership and opportunities in the community. With that, are there questions? Lee, technically for the, if the board chooses to support this extension, what do you need a motion to look like or sound like or be or?
I think it can follow the language of the agenda item. So motion to approve request from Richmond Development to extend Sandpiper 1 loan agreement.
Okay, great. And then is that something you need executed by a member of the board?
Yes.
Probably, yeah, okay.
And they can delegate authority to the chair.
Okay. Is anybody prepared to make a motion on this agenda item? Or have questions or further discussion?
Brian, I'll make the motion if nobody else wants to do it.
Okay, thank you, Penny.
You're welcome.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tom. So for discussion or questions? Seeing none, a vote by roll. Forrest Bell,
Aye.
Penny Dye,
Aye.
Tom Dixon,
Aye.
Abby De Molina.
Aye.
You froze there for
Aye.
a second. Thank you. Chantal
Sorry.
Murphy,
Aye.
don't be. And now you're on mute.
I didn't hear you if you said my name. Aye.
Okay, great. Thank you. And Brian Sullivan's an aye. I'm getting a note. My internet connection is unstable. So if I freeze. Okay. Let's go quick review. Okay, we are on item 10. Good landlord tax exemption guidelines for 2025 annual town meeting. I guess I can work through Christie's notes on this one, just unless somebody is other staff persons looking to jump in and take it from me. Okay, seeing none.
You can use her notes, and if there's anything I can answer.
Okay, great. So after the last trust meeting, Rob and Christie had a disconnect from what the trust had been discussing over the past few meetings on the good landlord tax exemption actually is. While trying to learn from Provincetown, they have 2 different distinct programs. One is the good landlord tax exemption and one is an expanded year-round tax exemption. Both Rob and Christie are more interested on a board with an expanded year-round exemption, but this will take more due diligence to implement. They also recognize, given the confusion, it's unlikely that the trust will be able to have any recommendations to the select board at this time in time for the 2025 annual town meeting warrant, and will likely aim for a special town meeting in the future for either or both programs. So we'll be putting this item off to a future meeting to make sure that we get the program developed more cohesively or both programs more cohesively. And just for some background, the expanded year-round exemption allows for non-year-round property owners to qualify for the exemption if they rent the home to a year-round tenant. There's no affordability or income qualification in this scenario required, so it wouldn't need Affordable Housing Trust involvement forming the recommendation, but the board certainly could be involved proposing ways to help support more year-round rentals. It applies to the entire parcel of property, even if only one unit is rented out year-round. It'll need some research by both the assessor and other departments to figure out if that's going to work. Versus the good landlord tax exemption, which is a different program. This provides a discounted tax rate for homeowners renting units affordably. It does require income qualification for the tenants and the affordable rent, and only the square footage of the affordable unit is eligible for the tax exemption. It's on a prorated basis based on the total square footage of all the dwellings on the property. The program has been approved by the state and can be adopted at town meeting without requiring a new home rule petition. Staff recommendation is to put this on hold and use the winter meetings to review the programs and make a proper recommendation to the select board. We apologize for the confusion that may have been created in trying to find and execute this new tool in the toolbox. If the trust does want to move forward with the good landlord tax exemption, staff can work on guidelines for the select board. But the trust would need to commit to voting on guidelines in January, and the staff would recommend the work of at least one trust member to help prepare this. So what's in front of us, I guess the question is do we want to move this forward as fast as January, or take some more time over the winter, look at both programs and come back with both of them at a future meeting, whether it's a special or another annual town meeting in the fall? Is there kind of a consensus of the members of the board?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Tom.
I think pushing it off until further recommendations and more information to the special town meeting in the fall would be the prudent way of proceeding.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. I just feel like if we rush and then like any sort of confusion, I feel like we've all been at town meeting. The second people get confused, then they just vote against it anyway. And so having our ducks in a row and also taking the time to socialize it before town meeting so people aren't confused is just more likely for us to have success. I've seen it once or twice in my time with the articles I've seen, so I don't know, that's my 2 cents.
I'm in agreement with both of your experience and opinion. Anybody else want to weigh in? So it seems like we're just going to table this and keep it moving along. Okay. So great, we'll take that as an update and we'll move to, am I already to board comments? Oh, exciting. So Tom?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I got the housing newsletter this morning, which is very much, I'm sure a lot of us did, which is very much what was in our packet and select board on Wednesday. But there are some notes about like Megan Trudell's now role in the seasonal communities designation and all that is very interested. So if any member of the public wants to check that out and kind of read in some more detail on what we're all up to, it's a good one.
And Tom, forgive me for not knowing the answer. I know that it's in my inbox. I haven't opened it, but is there a place that we can, is that posted, or do you need to be on the email list to get it? Or how do we find that? How do we direct people to it? Alice, go ahead.
It's posted
Okay.
on the town website, and if you're on the email list, you get it automatically.
Right. And to be clear, there are multiple town email lists. There's the select board list that Libby sends her email, but then the housing newsletter list is different. So just for the public, if you want the housing newsletter list, make sure you sign up for the housing newsletter list on the town website. Penny?
Yeah, just quickly, we've asked Libby to include a link to it in the past, and hopefully somebody's on top of that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Brian, can I just say one thing?
Yes, please, Tracy.
So Megan Trudell texted me earlier and said that her and Leslie were looking for the link to today's meeting. I don't know if they intended on providing some kind of update about the seasonal, but I texted her when we were able to get on and they didn't come on. So I just wanted to make you aware of that.
Okay, thank you. Ellis, go ahead, and then I'll come to you, Rachel.
I sent them the link, but Meg said they were not going to be able to make it because they had a meeting up until 2:00.
Okay. Was it up till 2 or starting at 2? I was confused. Go ahead, Rachel.
I think there may have been an issue with the town website as well, because I went to go check the agenda and to make sure that the link was the same, and there's like a 404 error message on the whole agenda page. So I think that there may be an issue with the town website as well.
Not me.
If I will, Mr. Chair, yeah, the website
Please,
was
Chantal.
down right around the time we were trying to get onto this meeting. But it is back up and running now.
Excellent. Thank you, Chantal. Okay, any other board comments? The one note is in here is that the next meeting date will remain as originally scheduled. Other business, any other business? Seeing none, close other business. And then I will look for a motion to adjourn the regular session, not to return to the regular session, to adjourn to executive session for the purpose of considering the purchase, exchange, lease, or real value of property that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the Affordable Housing Trust. Would anybody be prepared to make that?
So move, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Tom. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Abby. By roll call, Forrest Bell.
Aye.
Thank you. Penny Dye.
Aye.
Tom Dixon.
Aye.
Abby DeMolina.
Aye.
Chantal Murphy.
Aye.
Meg Browers.
Aye.
And Brian Sullivan's an aye. Okay, so we're going to move to the executive session link. Go ahead, Alice. What do you got for us?
Before you guys go, so use the link that's on your packet. On the
Thank you.
it has a highlighted, it's highlighted in yellow. It says executive session link. Use that one so there's no confusion.
Thank you, Alice.